In April 2024, Luigi Mangione sent an audio message from Japan. "I want some time to zen out." 8 months later, the CEO of UnitedHealthcare lay dead on a New York sidewalk. What happened in between involves 400 copies of a philosophy book, an expensive shooting range in Thailand, and an obsession that would lead to murder. Welcome to Delay, Deny, Depose. I'm Jonny Llama. Before we begin today's episode, I want to remind you to subscribe to this podcast and join me on YouTube, where I'll be going live tonight to discuss my research findings. The link is in the description below. Speaking of YouTube, I want to share some insightful comments from our growing community. Girl Ethereal provided valuable context to episode 11, Erasing Luigi, explaining how platforms like TeePublic operate under DMCA safe harbor provisions, while raising important points about likeness rights and commercial use. The bigger obstacle in this case is that it's not legal to use someone's likeness, especially a person who isn't a public figure, for commercial gain without the permission of the person the likeness belongs to. So to be legal, the artist would need to enter into an agreement with Luigi to pay him a licensing fee for his image. Philip Lombardo shared his personal experience with UnitedHealthcare from episode 10, describing how even as a healthcare worker in Iowa, he faced excessive charges and denial of coverage. Despite being in healthcare, I still got charged high rates each month for the insurance. When I needed help, UnitedHealth wouldn't cover a dang thing. When, by some miracle, they actually would help with costs, I still had to personally pay a lot of money. Terrible services to the point of being a scam. And user Jingle Jazz offered an international perspective, contrasting the American system with Canada's universal healthcare. Jingle says, "I'm Canadian, never paid a dime in healthcare costs, no premiums, no copays, care is excellent." Like all systems, it has its problems. One that we don't have is having to argue with an insurance company that we pay hundreds a month in premiums and get denied. And if we are approved, we don't have to pay a deductible. That's called extra billing, and it's illegal. Create an affordable system made in the USA. Make it happen. Thanks, Jingle. Your perspective as a Canadian highlights a crucial point. Regardless of how one views the Mangione case, our healthcare system needs reform. The contrast between paying hundreds in monthly premiums only to face denials here versus a system without copays or deductibles is striking. While I don't have all the answers, what's clear is that change is necessary. If you find value in these discussions about our healthcare system, please share this podcast with your colleagues. Together, we can work toward solutions. Now, let's begin today's episode. In early 2024, Luigi Mangione left his co-living space in Hawaii and embarked on what he called a journey to zen out. On April 27th, while hiking in Japan's Nara region, he sent an audio message to a friend expressing this desire for peace. But something changed during that journey. Traveling with two German tourists, Max and Paul, Mangione made an unexpected decision. Instead of joining them for a beach day in Thailand, he visited an expensive shooting range. Then came the books. 400 copies of Hit Reverse, New Ideas from Old Books by Indian author Jash Dholani. Not content with just reading the work, Mangione flew to Mumbai, determined to meet the author and share his personal feedback. As Paul told TMZ's documentary, The Mind of a Killer, he seemed obsessed with Dholani's book. We didn't understand why anyone would need 400 copies. After the Mumbai visit, Mangione began losing touch with family and friends. Months later, he would resurface in New York City, where prosecutors say he executed a carefully planned assassination of UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson. To understand Mangione's obsession, we need to understand the author who inadvertently influenced him. Jash Dholani is a 27-year-old writer from Mumbai who calls himself the old books guy. A former advertising professional with aspirations to make films, he's gained attention for his ability to distill complex philosophical ideas into digestible wisdom. His reach extends far beyond India. With over 110,000 followers on X, his work has attracted readers like Elon Musk and Jordan Peterson. When asked about his viral success, Dholani explains, "I can write something sitting in a cafe in Delhi or a train station in Budapest and reach people around the world." What sets Dholani apart is his approach to classic texts. Authors of old books are not afraid of getting canceled, so they usually speak their minds, he explains. Old books are vetted by time. Only the best have survived. His interests range from Napoleon's private letters to Carl Jung's symbolism. In a November 2024 interview, just weeks before Thompson's murder, Dholani discussed a theory about evolutionary gaps and extraterrestrial influence that he found baffling. He noted sudden explosions in species development and human brain capacity that normal evolutionary process just can't explain. Before Mangione's visit, Dholani had already established himself as a speaker at global events like Brain Bar. His Instagram featured essays with titles like "Creativity is Brutal" and "Take the Hate Pill." But nothing in his work suggested violence or extremism. Hit Reverse, New Ideas from Old Books, is divided into 4 distinct parts: the truth about human nature, you versus the modern world, you need to be creativity maxing, and the Ubermensch manual. The book contains over 750 insights drawn from 75 classic texts, with provocative chapter titles like "The Dark Side of Equality," "Why Politics Must Be Theological," and "The Strange Advantages of Shooting Your Own Leg." As TMZ's documentary reveals, this wasn't Mangione's only literary obsession. He had a second book about corporate greed that investigators believe connects directly to his motive. The connection between Dholani's philosophy and Mangione's actions raises deeper concerns. While Dholani writes about challenging conventional thinking and exploring revolutionary ideas, his work shows no connection to violence. Yet something in these pages resonated deeply with Mangione. Perhaps most significant is Mangione's media consumption pattern. As Politico notes, his interests aligned with a growing movement of young, educated men who share a fundamental distrust of institutions. From following both Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to his interest in biohacking and sustainability, Mangione's worldview reflected a broader pattern of institutional skepticism. The Mumbai meeting itself remains shrouded in mystery. Despite traveling thousands of miles with 400 books in tow, Mangione never met Dholani. Some sources suggest the author was unavailable, while others hint at concerns about Mangione's increasingly obsessive behavior. As this investigation continues, these questions point to a larger pattern. Like the Unabomber before him, Mangione's path to radicalization seems paved with a complex mix of philosophical ideas, institutional distrust, and personal grievances. The challenge for investigators isn't just understanding what happened, but preventing others from following a similar path. After researching this episode, a response from author Jash Dholani was posted on his X.com account. Quote, "This is false. 400 books were never bought. He tried to buy 400 copies, but the transaction was flagged by the bank and rejected. Ultimately, he bought 1 copy of my book, like thousands of other people." End quote. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. Join me tonight for my live YouTube stream, and until next time, I'm Jonny Llama.